You should check out what came in from Ribben Fell.
Hey everyone, welcome back. Today's video is another entry in my high ore shipment series. And this time we are looking at a big one. I sent 180,000 Verisium bars to Ribben Fell. Was it worth it? How do the rewards scale with shipment size? Let's dive in and find it out. So, for those who've been around, you probably remember when small Verisium shipments to Riben Fell were all the rage. Just send 2 bars and get 3 scarabs and a rune. Easy value. But that's changed. Now there is a minimum shipment value of 50,000, which means you need to send 792 Verisium bars or 391 bars plus 25,000 thaumaturgic dust, just to qualify. But let's be real, I'm not here for small efficient shipments. I like sending huge juicy batches, and then regretting it later. But that's a story for another day. So, here's what I did. I sent 180k Verisium broken into multiple shipments, everything from 10 1k shipments up to single 50k one. All of them were boosted with dust in a 1-to-1 ratio. That put the total shipment value a bit over 23 million. After every shipment, I track my rewards using a spreadsheet export from Path of Exile. Sorted the scarab by rarity and crunched the numbers. First, let's look at the scarab quantity. I bundled the small shipments together to make the numbers easier to analyze. A quick heads up. Even identical shipments don't always give identical results. For example, my 1k Verisium shipments usually gave 11 to 12 scarabs, sometimes with a rune. So the final numbers aren't perfectly divisible. Still, there's clear trend, diminishing returns. The more Verisium you send, the fewer scarabs you get per unit sent. Which, let's be honest, it's kind of expected. But what about rarity scaling? Here's where it gets interesting. And keep in mind, this is still a small sample size, nothing definitive yet. I could be just been lucky on the large shipment. Rather than boring you with a wall of numbers, I'll just hit the main takeaway. Full data's in the description if you are into that kind of the thing. So, in the smaller shipments, I got 1 mythic scarab, which is about average. But in the 5k plus shipments, I was seeing twice as many mythic and extreme rarity scarab as expected. Sounds great, right? Well, not really. Because here is the catch. Just because scarab is rare doesn't mean it's valuable. You might get something awesome, like a horned scarab of awakening, worth over 1 divine. But you could just as easily pull a delirium scarab of delusion, worth less than 1 house. The reality is, a lot of mythic scarabs have super niche effects. They look cool on paper, but they are often not useful in common farming strategies. So they are rare, but not worth much. Bottom line, when it comes to scarabs, quantity beats quality. Sending massive shipments might get you fancy looking drops, but you'll likely end up losing money. Let's talk about profit, aka the part where I cry. I took a snapshot of all the scarabs I received. The total value came out to about 11 divines. But I use up over 11 million of thaumaturgic dust across those shipments. That's roughly 7.5-8 divines worth of T0 uniques. So I made 3.5 divine profit. If I do not count expenses for scarabs to farm that Verisium. So, boosting with dust equals not worth it. And even if I skip the big shipments and only send small ones, still bad. From the smaller shipments, I was making around 16C per 1k Verisium plus 60k dust, which breaks down to 8C for the Verisium and 8C for the dust. But since 64k dust is roughly 8 house, that's a net zero for the dust part. That leaves you with the 8 house per 1000 Verisium, and that is terrible. Like, don't even bother channeling the Verisium node on your map, terrible. Especially when you think about how long and dangerous those encounters are. The mining, the smelting, take ages. Those are another gold expenses. And the rewards, honestly, they are so bad that even Calandra in her lake would be ashamed. So what's verdict? Verisium to Riben Fell is just not worth it. Not in small batches, not in big batches, not even in meme-sized shipments. If you've got Verisium, send it to Nakano instead. You'll get stack decks and tattoos, and at current prices it's quite a good profit, and it's even worth it boosting those with dust. Verisium nodes in maps? Skip them. Not worth the time or the risk. Chasing a Starfall crater or Swollen drop? Be serious. I've farmed ore extensively, and I found more T0 unique drops from Crimson Iron encounters than I found Starfall craters. If Verisium, only from Nico via Refiner bargain keystone. And even then, tread carefully. Verisium is just the worst ore ever. And anybody telling something else is a Jon Snow who knows nothing about ore shipments. Alright, that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful, drop a like, maybe sub, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, Exile.